Daniel Dam is our guest on Perspectives. Welcome to our studio, Dr. Dam.
Thank you, Knight and listeners.
I also have on the program the secretary of that Peace Summit organized by the Sankara Staff Forum, Benue State University, a two-day Peace Summit in that zone, Dr. Solomon Shaminja. Welcome to Perspectives, Dr. Shaminja.
Thank you, Nathaniel. It's a pleasure to have you, always.
And later in the course of the program, we'll be joined virtually by two discussants from outside the studio who will also share thoughts with us on the program. The Police Public Relations Officer, Benue State Command, SP Sewesi Anene, will join us virtually. And we also expect to be joined virtually later on by the Special Advisor to the Benue State Governor on Security and Strategic Liaison, retired Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Anshungu. These are the guests we have lined up on today's edition of Perspectives. And if this is your first time tuning in, be informed that it is an audience participatory program which takes the air between now and 11 a.m. Later at 10 o'clock, we avail you the telephone line so you can call in and also contribute on the program. We'll begin right here, and I'd like to begin with you, Dr. Dam. Are you worried about the peace situation? How endangered is the peace situation in the Sankara axis is?
Thank you, Nathaniel. The situation in Sankara is worrisome, destroyed. Innocent people are being killed. And it's something that every right-thinking human being will be worried about. So the situation in Sankara is quite pathetic because it has brought about untold hardship to the population, and it has crippled economic activities within that region. It has made it so difficult for any developmental project to be embarked upon. And even those of us from that axis, it is difficult for us to visit our ancestral homes because you wouldn't know what will happen to you. So there are people from Sankara that for the past 10 years have not stepped their foot on their ancestral home. And that is how bad it is. So to be worried, in fact, is an understatement. But that is the situation, that region, and we have found ourselves.
Okay, Dr. Shaminja, also give us your thoughts on how worried are you about the situation as far as the peace-building process in Sankara axis is concerned?
Thank you, Nathaniel. It's a pleasure to have you always. We, just like the president did said, we, the staff forum of Benue State University, Makurdi, were deeply worried by this incessant and perennial insecurity in the zone, that is Sankara axis. And we set up this summit to bring stakeholders together, to dialogue. Ours is a non-kinetic approach to solving this insecurity problem. We're looking at how we can bring all these stakeholders to come together, to dialogue, to say, this is our home, this is our fatherland, and we cannot just all sit and watch it ravaged. We want a situation whereby the politicians, the youth, the women, the business people, the technocrats, all these people from Sankara axis, having looked at the mess we're in, to come together at a dialogue session and to say that these are the ways for us to find solutions to these problems. If we cannot do it, nobody is going to solve this problem for us. So there is high time we come together and try to see how we can solve these problems by ourselves. No matter the level of deployment of security apparatus in that area, still cannot solve that problem. If we cannot sit as a family and discuss and say, this is the best way we can talk to our brothers and solve these issues, address the issues at stake. And that is why this summit, the two-day summit by Sankara Staff Forum, is timely. And we set up this summit by next week, Thursday and Friday. We come up with a situation whereby we bring all the stakeholders together to sit on a round table and discuss and tell us their plight, their challenges, and how best we can fashion up plans to resolve these issues. And we're hoping that all stakeholders in Sankra Aziz, irrespective of political inclination, we collaborate with us so that together we can champion peace to return in Sankra Aziz. Like, the one philosopher said, peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding and dialogue. And on that note, we're trying to see how we can come to a dialogue and discuss and iron out this issue and resolve it once and for all.
Okay, Dr. Dam, earlier on you alluded to the effect of the lack of peace in that part of our state, the effect on the general economic situation. But I would like you to speak to us further on how the absence of peace has impacted social and economic activities in that part of our dear state.
Thank you, Nathaniel. You will agree with me that the Sankra geopolitical axis used to be the most richest and economic viable region in Benue State. Before the crisis, the axis was regarded as the food basket of Benue State. In fact, it is Sankra that made Benue to live up to the status of the food basket of Nigeria, because on daily basis there were hundreds of lorries loaded with yams and other agricultural produce coming out of the axis. So the place was so viable economically that development was at high speed. And so you see that people within the area, in fact, if you have a visitor, if we receive a visitor from Sankra, we were found of not buying a bottle of beer, but we prefer to order for cartons. That how many cartons do you want? That used to be the situation. And so the development that was taking place has suffered serious setback. So now even the farming activities, the farmers don't have the freedom to go into their farms and carry out the activities. Development, that of course Sankra have two major institutions that have impacted this country greatly. The Government College Katsina-Ala has produced prominent Nigerians who have impacted and are still impacting these countries in various field of endeavors. Even in the military fair, that people like retired General T.Y. Danjuma graduated from Government College Katsina-Ala. The former Chief of Army Staff, Victor Malu of blessed memory, also is a product of Government College Katsina-Ala. The current Vice Chancellor of Benue State University, Professor Joe Toyorapu, is also a product of Government College Katsina-Ala. The current Vice Chancellor of Federal University of Health Science, Utukpo, is also a product of Government College Katsina-Ala. Then the College of Education has also produced a lot of people who are impacting positively to the development of this country. But as it is now, if you visit these institutions, you will regret if you have ever known them before the crisis, because the enrollment rate has reduced. In fact, they can better be described as ghosts if you compare them to what was and what is now. Why? Because of the insecurity. People are scared. The staff within this institution have run away because they need to secure their life first before the job. And so you see that educational institutions have suffered serious setback, and we are worried because at the lower level of education, in terms of primary schools and secondary school, virtually over 90% are dead. In fact, public schools are dead. And so we're worried what becomes of the future of this geopolitical axis, because teeming population is out of school. I know that that portends danger because they may or they are currently involved in what is taking place. And so if you allow me, I can go on and on and on and on to show how this has impacted negatively on the socioeconomic development of this region. And that has also affected the development of other infrastructures, because for the past number of years, many things that have been affected because of insecurity. As you said earlier on, without peace, there can't be any development, and that is what is happening in Sankra. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Shamenja, you may also you may wish to add something how the absence of peace in that axis may have impacted on the socio-economic general activities in that part of our state.
Thank you, Nat. Look at the human resources, the manpower that is losing on a daily basis in Sankra Axis. It will shock you. Data from databyte.com alone in 2022, first quarter of that year, reveals that about 1,718 precious lives were lost in Sankra Axis. That is first quarter of 2022 alone. To speak, few days ago, more than 20 lives were lost. So on aggregate, if you look at the quantum of lives that are going down, the human resources that would have contributed to the development of Sankra Axis, it will worry you. The economic aspect of it, people are not going into farm, just like the president said. And this farming is the major hub that constitutes the commercial activities of situation whereby people who are supposed to go into farming, which is their livelihood, are not going into there. You could imagine the level of economic disaster this would cause on the entire state. And it has a snowball effect on the entire state and also the country at large. We're talking of food insecurity here. So you look at the cost of foods in the market. He just spoke about the level of destruction, the infrastructural destruction that you see, the level of educational destruction that you see in that zone. So these are the areas that were worried that if urgent measures are not taken, these axes of the state that have over time contributed to the development of the state in terms of cultural endowment, in terms of commercial development, will not be there. You look at the entertainment sector, that you are in the entertainment sector, cultural entertainment sector. You look at the musician, the entertainment sector that we have, well endowed. The likes of Obadia, the likes of Golos, all of them, many of them are in that axis. As we speak, the social life of these people is completely crippled. So with this development, all of us can't just fold our hands and watch the level of disaster being caused by this insecurity situation in our area. And we say that it's high time we come together as brothers and resolve this issue once and for all.
Okay, Dr. Dam, as academics, as educational stakeholders in this whole process, what measures is your summit aiming to profile with regards to restoring peace in Sankara?
Thank you, Mr. Nat. The Sankara Staff Forum of Benue State University, Makurdi, had their internal meeting and agreed that we will stage a summit, because this crisis has been lingering for years, more than a decade now. And so we feel that we as the academia also have a quota to contribute. As you know, we are researchers. So the first question is, what is happening in Sankara? Has it ever happened anywhere in the world? If it had, then what were the measures taken by those people within those communities in addressing this? Are there lessons that we can draw from their experiences and then bring them to bear on what is happening in Sankra so that we can find lasting solutions? So we were motivated that there is no problem that is happening right now that has never happened elsewhere. And so through research, we are able to come out with ideas and experiences and lessons from other countries and other communities, and we are willing to share with the stakeholders in these projects of peace building in Sankra. So this summit is actually our contributions, our community service to our own motherland, because no crisis or no conflict can be resolved without peaceful dialogue of all the parties involved coming together to sit on the same table and discuss their problems and agree to move forward. And just like the secretary has said, with this conviction, we first of all embark on advocacy visit because we realize that if all the stakeholders are not on the same page in terms of agreeing to come together, then this summit will just be one of the summits in attempt to addressing this. So what we did was to embark on advocacy visit, and we identified the critical stakeholders, the traditional institutions, the religious leaders, the politicians, the academia, the community development associations, the youth and the women. And we first of all sought audience with them and sought their consent as to whether they will participate in this summit or not. So we visited the traditional rulers within the Sankra Axis. We visited key politicians because we are aware that the problems are quite complex. They had political undertones and all of that, and we are non-political. We are political. We are non-partisan, and so we were able to meet with the key political stakeholders from that axis. We also met with the religious leaders, the Bishop of Katsina Diocese, the key pastors within the zone. We also met with the other stakeholders, and they all agree that yes, they will come together. First, they agree to the fact that we are non-partisan. We are not a political organization, and that they believe that what we will offer will go a long way in solving that because it will be devoid of politics. And so they have agreed. So our intention and our prayer is that this summit should provide a roadmap that the governments of Benue State will take the recommendations and will implement so that peace will return to Sankra geopolitical axis.
Okay. Oh, for instance, you mentioned a dialogue. Beyond dialogue, or bringing yourself together to dialogue, what other specific measures are you deploying so that peace is restored in Sankra? Dialogue that is beyond the dialogue component. Dr. Dan.
Yeah, beyond dialogue component, you know that for peace to restore, you also have to address other issues. One, enlightenment is a major weapon that liberates people. Education is a major weapon that emancipates or liberates people from ignorance and help them to take decisions that will help them as an individual and will help the community to develop. So this organization has embarked on sensitization within secondary schools in that axis, so that the student, at least the little ones that are showing interest to study, we need to guide them. And so we have also instituted a scholarship for indigent students within the Sankara Axis. At a start, we are considering only the community secondary school, and we have about 12 community secondary schools spread across Sankara. And our scholarship is for students within these secondary schools, so that we will also contribute in training them. Mr. Nathaniel, what is happening right now in that axis is such that many young people are seeing models in things that shouldn't be described as, or in people that shouldn't be their model. So when you talk of schools, education, many are not willing, because they feel that if I spend 9 years in primary school, 6 years in primary school, another 6 in secondary school, 4 years in university, yet I will not have a job and still be moving. So is it not better to make money within 4 or 5 years more than even graduates? So we need to correct that. And we feel that that can be corrected through enlightenment, public enlightenment, sensitization. And so we're embarking on that education. We're giving scholarship. And because we're within the university sector, our desire is to mentor those children that will choose to give them scholarship, so that as soon as they finish their secondary school, then we also register them JAMB. This scholarship is in secondary school, because if we decide to leave them to finish secondary school before giving them scholarship in the university, many will not attend even or finish that secondary school. So that is one way that we are also doing, one thing that we're also doing aside this peace summit to solve the problem within the Sankara Axis.
Okay, Dr. Shaminja, also weigh in on this. I'm particularly interested in the measures, so that this program is serving as a sensitization also to people from that community and other stakeholders within the state on what are the basic strategies that could be keyed into to restore peace in Sankara Axis. So can they share your thoughts with us as well?
Thank you, Nathaniel. Ours is just a smaller group, but we're championing this cause. And we want relevant stakeholders, including the government, to key into this peace initiative by Sankara Staff Forum of Benue State University, Makurdi. The summit is not an intellectual summit. It is a dialogue process. And aside that, we have focus on non-kinetic approach, just like I said. And part of the measures towards non-kinetic, process has to do with scholarship, just like the president just said. We want a situation whereby having dialogue, government would also key into this process on how youths in that area who are in the bush can also be given support, scholarship support, in some of these crimes they are into. The skills and acquisitions. How can various stakeholders key in so that the youths, the women over there could be supported to venture into gainful areas that will change their lives? So they are not looking at other role models, but they are looking at role models that are meaningful in court. But as it stands now, they are looking at the shortest way to which they can make money. And that's why they can easily kidnap people and go and kill in order to get money. But we're saying, no, that is not the right way to go. The right way to go is for stakeholders to support us so that these people can be empowered. We give them skills, poverty alleviation issues.
I will interrupt. Command Superintendent of Police, Sewesi Nene. Good to have you join us on Perspectives here on Agate Radio 95.5 Star FM, Makurdi. Okay, PPRO, kindly give us an understanding of what is the current peace situation in Sankara Axis of Benue State. Okay, when you said there was a violent protest, PPRO, what actually prompted these violent protests that may have led to the... Hello, PPRO? Hello? Oh, we lost connection with SP and then and then we'll try to re-establish a connection with her back again because she's joining us virtually to give us an understanding of what is the current situation in Sankara axis. Remember, our discussion is focused on... Okay, PPRO, we're glad we're able to have you back online. Good to have you join us back again. All right. So as you were saying, you were talking, I am wondering, when you mentioned there was a violent protest, could you walk us through what may have prompted this violent protest in Sankara, particularly in Okum local government, as you earlier reported in your statement?
I would like to say what violent protest is just an arrangement of to make sure that the state of is that sort of to have been done by bandits. Police officers were deployed to the area to control further what attack. What moved me or what the surprising aspect of it is the relationship between that attack and what happened began 9 a.m. of the yeah, Ayaki, 50 kilometers away from Ayaki. A violent claimed that they were angry with what happened at Ayaki. But actually, what they exhibited was the criminality. They went about destroying government property. Hello?
Yes, PPRO, it does appear we're having a technical glitch, but go on. We are trying to get through to you. We are to hear you as well.
Can I return in 5 minutes?
Okay, you are on now. Please go ahead. I think we can get you a bit clearer now. Hello. Oh, quite unfortunate. We've lost the connection again, but we'll try as much as we can to re-establish connection. We've been speaking with the Police Public Relations Officer, Benue State Command, Superintendent of Police Sewesi Anene, who is joining us virtually on this program Perspectives, which we are discussing measures on how to restore peace in Sankara axis. And here in the studio, driving the conversation, I have the President, Sankara Staff Forum, and a senior lecturer in the Department of Geography at the Benue State University, Makudi, Dr. Daniel Dam. I also have on the program the Secretary, Sankara Staff Sankara Shaminja. He is with us in the studio, and we are also expecting to be joined virtually by the Special Advisor to the Benue State Governor on Security and Strategic Liaison, retired Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Anshungu. And later at 10 o'clock, you can participate on the program by calling us on 0814 335 9292. 0814 335 9292. You may also send us a text message to 0912 699 9404. 0912 699 9404. You may listen to us by logging onto our website on www.igetradiotv.com. Also, follow all our social media pages, including Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, as well as X, formerly Twitter. If you follow these pages, you'll be sure to find us there as the program is streaming live on all these platforms. Dr. Shaminja, I'm so sorry to have interrupted your thoughts. We're trying as much as we can to get through to SP and NN. Of course, we'll still try as we go on, but I'll allow you to continue with your thoughts. You were speaking to us about the dialogue process of bringing all the stakeholders in Sankara axis, particularly focusing on education, since you are academics driving the process.
Yes, So we're looking at the level of illiteracy, which is high in that zone, and we part of the solutions will be how the youths in that area will go to school, will be educated, because education is the strength to which liberate an individual. So as it is now, majority of these youths who are indulging in these acts of criminality are not going to school, and they cannot be able to decipher what is right and what is wrong. So we want a situation whereby the government and all relevant individuals will support us to see how we can encourage these young men to go to school, to seek education, to better their lives, instead of seeking to indulge in banditry or kidnapping, as it's were now. Then we're looking at poverty alleviation strategies. How can we support these individuals, these young people, the women, and the people that have already been ravaged by this level of insecurity, how they have been displaced of their livelihood of farming, how we can support them. So we're looking at this solution, these available alternatives, and how we can better the lives of these people. How we can also give skills acquisition, how we can train these people in terms of areas of skills acquisition. So we're looking at these various ways to which we can support these farmers to go back to where they are displaced, how we can secure this environment in partnership with the security. And we cannot do it alone, except the people in this area come together and say that it's high time we come together, dialogue, and secure our land from external aggressors who are there with ulterior motive to occupy the place as it is now and destroy it economically and socially.
Okay, Dr. Dam, poverty alleviation, that's one of the strategies in terms of empowerment. To what extent can your own organization go or even to rally around stakeholders to get people empowered to get going again?
Thank you, Nathaniel. The truth of the fact is we are and a group of intellectuals, and what we're offering is ideas. I know that ideas are power, because if you ask us, we don't have the money to start helping the farmers and say, take this, or we'll buy 5 bags of rice and share and distribute to farmers, or do this and all of that. But we feel that what we have is the ideas, is the knowledge. And we will place these ideas on the table before the government and other critical stakeholders, so that they will have the knowledge of what to do to alleviate the suffering of these people. We have elected officials from that axis, and it is their own duty to ensure that democratic dividends gets to the people and alleviate their suffering, alleviate their poverty. So we, from the university angle, we don't have the money, but we have the knowledge and the ideas. And so we are placing on the table this knowledge, these ideas, that you need to do this, you need to do this. And we are trusting God that the governments of Benue State and the elected members from that axis.
I will beg to interrupt you because we have the PPRO back online joining us, and I hope, yes, PPRO, good to have you back on the press. Speaking to us, you said a violent protest erupted in Ukum, and we were wondering what may have led to the violent protests.
Like I said earlier, there was an attack suspected to have been carried out by bandits in Ayati. Ayati is 20 kilometers away from Zakibiam. But the people of in Zakibiam said they were angry and they woke up with a peaceful protest. But it turned out to be a violent protest where a lot of property belonging to some persons and the police officers. So that is obviously not a peaceful protest, and it's a clear sign that it doesn't connect what happened at Ayati. It's the same arrangement by criminals to frustrate efforts of security agents in Sankara. It might interest you to know that in the past 2 months, there have been series of operations ongoing that led to invasion of bandit camps, recovery of arms, and some of them even lost their lives in the course of those operations. So what you are seeing is a resistance, is an attempt to frustrate efforts of security agents within the area and the good people of Ukum who are willing to fight these menace of banditry.
Okay, PPRO, this is not the first time there may have appeared to be a security breach. Generally, the Sankara axis have appeared to be a troubled zone. From investigation, what have been the remote and immediate causes over time that have protracted?
The major problem of Sankara is banditry. A group of people who don't agree with the government or who don't agree with Sankara. Sankara comprises of 3 local governments, as we know. They've grouped themselves disturbing the government. And this has been happening. The fight has been on. Sankara has the highest deployment of officers in Benue State. I think it's a continuous fight of bandits. That's what is happening.
Okay. Now, since this recent incident which you are talking to us about happened, we are aware that the Benue State government has imposed a 24-hour curfew in Ukum local government in particular. To what extent is this curfew being complied with?
Part of the reason why we still have the Commissioner of Police in Sankara is because of that enforcement. Criminals will normally resist such orders because they want to have an opportunity to loot people's properties. They want to have an opportunity to cause mayhem on the people. So they will definitely resist. But for now, there's compliance because there's heavy security presence in Sankara as we speak.
Okay. Have there been any arrests made? So far, as at yesterday, you issued a statement telling us 18 persons have been arrested in connection with that. What more can you tell us with regards to arrests concerning this?
Yes, we still have 18 persons in custody. We don't have more persons that were arrested after yesterday, except for reports I have not received. But what we had yesterday was 18, and it still stands at 18.
Okay, PPRO.
What is happening is a deployment to prevent further occurrences. So I think Sankara is under control at the moment.
Okay, PPRO, as we mentioned, Sankara, which you pointed out clearly, comprises 3 local governments, Ukum, Kasanala, and Logo. With Ukum being a flashpoint now, to what extent is the security manning the other 2 local governments so as not to have a ripple effect?
Like I said earlier, we have the heaviest deployment of this, and all other security agents deployed to both Kasanala, Logo, and Ukum. So I want to believe that this problem will not escalate to other local governments beyond Ukum.
Okay, as had earlier in the earlier hours of this morning, His Excellency the Governor of Benue State, Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia, gave a broadcast, and in part of his broadcast, he said he can no longer guarantee an olive branch that is extended to those he described as being in the forest and causing mayhem. To what extent is the security agencies going all out for those in the forest, as the governor, if I should quote his words?
As we speak, the major concern of security agents is to calm the uprising in Sankara. But I assure you that these camps have been caged. There's a closure on them. Like I said earlier, what you are seeing is resistance. They are trying to leave their camps by creating problems so that they can come out of those camps and escape or relocate for their own good and safety. So what the governor has said is what we are doing already. We're already fighting to make sure that they leave those camps so that the good people of Sankara can accommodate those places and make them safer for us as Benue people.
Okay, PPRO, in the immediate, with this curfew that is still subsisting, oftentimes when curfews are put upon in the process of getting to enforce them, what are you allaying the fears of people with regards to these?
Officers deployed to enforce curfew are human and will always be human in carrying out their duty. So I want to say that it will not, they will be human, they have been warned. If there are special cases of people in distress that need to move, police officers are human, they will definitely allow them move. But the whole essence of curfew is to make sure that the area is under control for security agencies to secure Sankara. So I believe the issue of human rights might not arise. But in cases where it may come up, our lines are open for such reports and it will be handled.
Okay, PPR, just before staff a forum of the Benue State University who are organizing a 2-day peace summit themed promoting peace and social integration for sustainable development in Sankara. To what extent is the security keying into this as part of its strategy to get peace restored in that zone?
That arrangement is apt, is on time, is the right time to educate the people of Sankara on what they need to do. I am informed, I'm aware of that, and it will not be out of place for the police to key in, which we are already doing, to add a color, add value to what they are doing. So I'm aware, I was informed. Definitely we will have a deployment of officers to join them and, carry out this exercise.
One last one, PPRO, to the people of Benue and the people of Sankara in general, at this dire moment in the life of our dear state, what can we do collectively as stakeholders to drive the peace-building process?
I will start by commending the good people of Sankara. They have been great. They have been supportive. There are people in Sankara who stood up to say this will not continue. Some have even paid with their lives trying to fight these bandits. We cannot give up at this point. Like I said, what you see is resistance. But the more we persist and clamp down on to security agents as much as we can, so that we can bring this to an end.
Superintendent of Police Sewesi Anene, Police Public Relations Officer, Benue State Command. We must thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us on Perspectives.
Thank you.
And we wish the security agencies, including the police, the very best in bringing the situation under control.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much, dear listener. If you are just tuning in, the program is Perspectives on Agate Radio. And minutes away, we'll try to activate the telephone line for you to call in so you may share your thoughts with us on the subject we are discussing, restoring peace in Sankara axis of Benue State. And of course, as we go on, we had earlier tried to establish connection with the special advisor to the Benue State Governor on Security and Strategic Liaison, retired Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Anshungu. We are yet to get through to him, but will continue to be RO. But shortly before we open the line, Dr. Dam, you were on and you were speaking to us with regards to the strategies of getting the people empowered to revive their socio-economic lives.
Yeah. Yes, as I was saying, ours is to place the ideas and strategies, implement these policies to alleviate the sufferings and the poverty in the land to do it. The government is there, the political office holders, because they have the mandate of these people, and it's incumbent on them to ensure that they embark on the projects that will alleviate the sufferings of these people. So talk to the people and those youths that are willing, even those that will be willing to repent, then there should be an empowerment scheme that they will go through training, they will be radicalized so that they can live their normal life with whatever handwork that they will choose to do. So that is what we are doing.
Okay, Dr. Shamenja, listening to the PPRO, I'm sure it may excite you that she mentioned that the police is willing, the security is willing and has already prepared to key into your program. Speak to the people of Benue and Sankra in particular on how they can also key in beyond those who, because when we categorize stakeholders, there are people who may not even fall under the categories of stakeholders, but in general sense, speak to people and on what initiatives they can key into with regards to driving the peace process.
Thank you very much, Nathaniel. We first and foremost we commend the police for the extending their hand of fellowship to us, the only branch to us to key into this security initiative that we're out for. We appreciate them deeply, and other security agencies, including the military, the civil defense, and even the Benue State Protection Guards. All of them are key security stakeholders. We invited them, and we're hoping that together they can key into this project so that together we can come to a common ground. We also extended our invitations to various stakeholders, including politicians, including traditional rulers, including religious leaders, including women, youth groups, market associations. All these are critical stakeholders who have, in one way or the other, has a stake in the Sankra project. So all of them, we're calling on them to come on board so that together we can champion the way for peace. And that's just the way to go, because like Nelson Mandela did say, peace is not just the absence of conflict. Peace is the creation of an environment where all can flourish. So we're looking at that environment whereby all of us can flourish in all our activities, including the academia, including the businessmen, including the businesswomen. All of us are stakeholders that together we can do it. Quickly, let us use this opportunity to also condemn the violent protest in Ukum local government. That is my local government, Nathaniel. And the people that were killed, most of them are my relatives, were displaced. Some of them that were killed yesterday were people who were displaced in the Chekelwe, that is my village, Bokpa, Chesha, up to the other houses in Ukum local government, and it's just a kilometer away from Ayati. And these people are displaced and they are taking refuge in Ayati. And many of them were killed yesterday. As of yesterday, when the calls came in, I called them. This is not the right way to go. Violence can't solve any issue. So go home. Your plight is taken note by government. So along the line, it was unfortunate that the protest was hijacked by hoodlums. So we condemn that, and we think that that is not the right way to go. The properties that were destroyed were government properties. Where government properties are also, they will use your taxpayers' money to also, rebuild the properties. So that's not the right way to go. Over 18 properties, even including the houses of people, government properties, secretariat, local government secretariat, and all those things. So that is not the right way to go. So the best thing is that we condemn that, and we think that if the people of Sankra are willing to cooperate with us, they should come together so that together we can champion this peace initiative and not the violent approach.
Okay, a non-violent approach. Non-violent approach is the one advocated, and that is exactly why this program is put together as well, to drive the process for peace building. Since all of us are interested, and Agate Radio in particular is interested in the peace of our dear state. By the way, condolences to you. You say you lost relatives in that part of the state.
Thank you.
Which are, so our condolences to you and the good people of Sankra, all peace-loving citizens of Benue. Shortly, we shall activate the telephone line for you to contribute. Reach us on 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. You may send us a text message on 0912-699-9404. 0912-699-9404. You may listen to this program also by logging onto our website on www.agateradio.tv.com. Also follow all our social media platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, and all other platforms. We are there to serve you. The program is streaming live there. You may follow us there. Once you connect with us in the studio and we'll take your call, we'd like to know your name and where you are calling us of inflaming passions. We are interested only in the peace process. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Kindly move away from your radio set if you may.
All right.
Yes.
Morning to you.
Good morning.
And the guests in the studio.
Thank you. May we know your name, sir?
Yes, my name is Augustine Edo. I'm calling from Urukumakodi.
All right, good to have you on the program, Augustine.
Yes, it's unfortunate we find ourselves with what is happening in Sankara. And this is a sign that Benue State need to wake up urgently. Because you can see almost 18 properties destroyed in one day. Then it takes how many years to build those properties back? And when people are pushed to the wall, people, when attacks have been happening and it seems that there is no hope for them, one day you see that people will say, okay, what are we living for? Then let's just go on violence.
No.
And when it starts, you can't control that.
Augustine?
So they take...
Yes, Augustine?
Yes, sir.
No, we are not interested in the violent approach. We are discussing a non-violent approach that will facilitate the peace building. We heal the wounds, that will get the people reconciled for peace to thrive. So if you have suggestions to make it...
Yes, sir. My suggestion is the stakeholders in that place, they should know better how to tackle that problem. The politicians, traditional rulers, religious leaders, and even the youth. Like somebody said, let there be a summit. Call everybody on the round table. They know what is happening. And it's high time the governor put it to them. They should rather provide those people, or everybody will be suspended. We can't continue to be having this issue of insecurity in Sankara. And the yam and other things come from Zakibia. We grow to know that Zakibia is the hub of yam in Nigeria. So the government should put it to them. They should sit on the round table to put this to an end. Thank you very much. May God bless Benue State.
Thank you. God bless Benue and Nigeria. Thank you very much, Augustine. Although all stakeholders should come on a round table, and that is what the Peace Summit by the Sankara Staff Forum, organized by the Sankara Staff Forum of Benue State University, is also seeking to drive. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome to Perspectives.
No. Thank you, sir. This is Anong Emmanuel. I'm calling you from Kasinala.
Anong Emmanuel, you seem to be in a noisy background. Can you move away from the noise so we can hear you? Which part of Kasinala are you reaching us from?
Kasinala town, sir.
Okay, Anong, go ahead.
All right. I wish to sincerely appreciate the guests in the house for their wonderful contribution. I also appreciate Agate Radio for this wonderful program.
Thank you very much.
You see, the issue that has the divided Benue State, this issue of insecurity is what should worry everybody that loves or have the interest of Benue State at heart. Because the damage that this has done to Benue State is enormous, and the bad name it has given to Benue State is something else. For us as a people, let me focus my attention on Sankara because I am calling from Sankara. The recent development that has happened in Sankara is quite unfortunate, and I can attribute it to, let me say, the I don't care attitude of our leaders in Sankara and Benue State at large. Take for instance the recent protest that took place in Ukun. So it's quite shameful that a protest that started at the earlier hours of that day, there was nobody to come and address these protesters until even after properties were destroyed, everything was done. There was no leader, the local government chairman was not there was no councillor, no governor was there to address these people. So I want to call on our leaders to always be proactive in handling some of these issues. The leadership is just like a game of football. You know, in football, when you are not playing, by the time you are outside the field, you see chances of scoring goals until you get to that field. I remember before this government came into power, it's true, Sankara was facing these insecurity challenges before Governor Hyacinthe earlier came into power. And I can still remember how, from time to time, at different campaign rallies, he used to criticize the then governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, even when there was a ban on motorcycles and other cars in Sankara. I remember how he came out and said a lot of things condemning the whole stuff. I still remember how.
Anongo,
Yeah, I'm almost there.
let's move.
I'm almost there.
Yeah, let's move away from that
Yeah.
narrative. You have made your points, but
Yes.
since you are
Yes.
one from Sankara, what measures in
Yeah.
the immediate you think the
Yes,
government
we
can
are
put in place?
we are getting there. We are getting there. So there were a lot of condemnation on the efforts by the past administration. So now that he has resumed office as governor of Benue State, I would appeal that yes, Sankara people, as they always say, they are killing themselves. That is the narrative now. We Sankara people are killing ourselves, and we don't have leaders, so we should continue killing ourselves. But I appeal that they should try and at least establishing a military base in Sankara now is long overdue. So I would appeal to the governor to liaise with leaders from Sankara, the senator from Zone A, the House of Representative members, and other prominent sons from Sankara, who can assist him in making sure that this issue of insecurity is properly addressed.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Anong Emmanuel, thank you very much. Thank you. When the opinions are trying to differ and we try to stop them, it will look as if we are gagging people, but we would like to appeal once again that kindly turn your emotions. Don't say comments that will inflame passions. Let's stay on the solutions, the issues. This is not the time to apportion blame to anyone at all. So let's stay on the issues, please, when you connect with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Perspectives.
Good morning. James Ojo from Kanchu.
The name is who?
Ojo James from Kanchu.
Udo James.
Ojo.
Ojo James from Kanshio.
Yes,
Thank you
yes.
very much. Ojo, please go ahead.
Good morning.
Thank you.
I thank all the audience today.
Thank you.
What happened is that what I have seen, what they want to do now, that to call people to the order, to meeting is very key, very good. You know what is happening is that, are you telling me that all the chiefs in Sakara didn't know? All of them run and then come and stay in the camp.
Not
It's not
Ojo.
fair.
Hello, Ojo James.
Yes.
That's too strong an allegation to make on a public platform like this. Because
Okay, sorry.
yeah. So please, let's
Sorry.
not go.
What they
into
want to do,
allegations.
let them, as they are calling everybody, call all the former politicians. they are aware of what they are doing. Because here, where other people make this thing happen, because you can't tell them, they fear to tell them. Why? They know they know all the children. You know, some of the time, the children, they are staying in the town. They are arranged in the town and then went to the beach. That's what they do. Most of them in the town, even though in that Ukuni town and then in Katinara town, they make arrangements and they go to the town. Majority of them are not staying in the bush. And then everybody know them. They know them, even though they are late to know them.
So in the immediate, the solutions, let's...
So this meeting, when they are calling, let them not fear anybody. Don't fear anybody. Whether you get two heads, let them say something about it. Tell them the truth. The truth is, the truth is bitter. And then it's good. When you die for it, it's good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ojo James. So the issue start with admitting the honest truth so as to tackle the issue. I think that's a punchline from Ojo. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome to the program.
Yes. I am Tekulaha J. I'm calling you late away from Batia in Boko local government.
All right, Tekulaha J. Thank you for joining us. Please make your submission.
Yes. I want to first of all appreciate you and the guests in the room.
Thank you.
Very interesting topic you discuss. You know, there is one thief song that brought out by Solomon JP, calling the governor of the state to summon all the youths of that side and their chiefs. Let them ask the youths what is their problem. I support the song. If the governor is hearing me right now as I am speaking to you, let him call the youths of Sankla. Ask them what is their problem. Let him solve their problem. There are governors, there are past governors that try to solve all those problems in their different ways, but no avail. Let the current governor call them and know what is their problem to solve the issue of Sankla once and for all. Thank you so much for the program.
Thank you, Tekura. We appreciate your submission. Thank you for calling in. We hope His Excellency is a listening governor. He's listening, but his authorities may convey your message to him to address it. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Nathaniel.
Thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
Yeah, this is Dondover James from Akpa in both local government of Benue State.
Okay, good to have you on the program, James Dondover.
Yeah, my regards to the Sankra Start Forum.
Thank you,
the measures they have taken, at least to curb the situation in that axis. Kudos to them. Yeah, I must appreciate you for this program. It is something that is disturbing everybody because Sankra, which we know in the past to be an area that is well blessed by God, they have a lot of things there. In those days, we hear of Ayenge to Sankra and all that, and we accord it to the blessings and the union. They meet together and do the calculations, which they say is Ayenge to Sankla. Now it's becoming a different thing. It is all over the news, even the network news, and you hear now in your own studio hearing about the mayhem that has been caused by the people themselves. The Bible says when a kingdom is divided against itself, it will not stand. And the same thing will be used in the solution to the problem. Because if the youth of that area will say no to those that are causing problems, that are turning the area to a troubled area, I believe, God, that their bad thinking and behavior will not persist again. Because you see, when the youth, they know each other. Those that have chosen to become bad boys, they know them. Those that have taken the side to go and be in the forest, they know them. And if the governor and all the stakeholders meet with all the youth there, those that will not come will be known, because they know who is who, and who is here and who is there as well. So if they talk in peace, a roundtable discussion, and if at the end they say this kind of situation will not continue in our axis, the place will be blessed by God, then after that meeting, I believe that, much will not be done, but peace will return to that place.
Okay.
The youth will stand up against those that are causing trouble. It happened here, and it wasn't that violent, but this kind of issue called produce. The police were trying to curb it. The government will threaten that from Boko to Aliede, we had many illegal roadblocks, and it was not helping matters. But when the youth met together with their chiefs and security people and say on that day that we are going to remove all the roadblocks, the illegal ones, it was done on that day, and it was done for good.
All right.
It was the youth that did it against those youths that were doing it on the road. So I'm surely believing, God, that this program, you are looking for solutions, and the youth, they are the solution, I believe,
All right.
to the problem.
Thank
they
you.
know who is who.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
James.
May God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you
Okay.
too. We appreciate your
Thank you,
submission.
James.
The youth critical stakeholders identified as part of the peace building process. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir Nathaniel.
Thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
Yes, my regards to all your guests in the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
My name is Vincent Ako. I'm calling from Wadata.
All right, Vincent, make your points, please.
I want to say that the government should grant amnesty to the youth, just like the previous administration used to grant amnesty to them. And then whoever refuses to submit his or her arms should be thoroughly dealt with if caught. And then secondly, I would like the government also to look into the one that is going on right now in the Zone C axis and tackle all the problems. Thank you very much, sir.
What is going on in Zone C axis?
There are insecurity problems here too. They are fighting here too.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Vincent. We appreciate your submission. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Have a good day. All right. The line is still open if you are just tuning in. The line is 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, this is Shaibu Muhammad calling from North Bank.
Shaibu, good to have you.
What do you together to know what is the problem and what is disturbing in that area? That is the only way to restore peace in that community. Please, so the governor should call them, all the stakeholders, to join hands together with the past senator and the current ones, together to call and have a chat with them to know what is the problem, so that they will solve this issue once and for all. That is my input.
All right, we appreciate your input. Quite insightful and enriching our discussions on the program. Thank you, Shwaibu. All right. Okay. These submissions coming from our callers on the program so far. Dr. Dam, what do you make of it, especially that of knowing where the rain started beating us? Have we gotten it right to know where all of this started?
Yeah, let me appreciate all the callers on this program. I think we're encouraged by their comments and support for the program. And, to us, it's a reassurance that we're on the right track. And most of the suggestions they have offered, we are already working towards achieving that. And we hope that God will help us. Let me say that the engagement of the critical stakeholders is very important for the success of this program. And for us, we have tried to reach every critical stakeholders in that axis. Now it's left for them to prove that they genuinely are committed to restoring peace in that area. When you talk of the political reign, the political leaders in that axis, is Senator Emmanuel Udende, who is representing.
I will beg your pardon that we stay away from names to be specific. Let's just speak in a generic sense.
So
Dr.
we have extend invitation to every key political stakeholders, and we hope that they will all come together so that we'll reason together. We are going to have an engagement, focus group discussion during the summit, exclusively with the youth, exclusively with women, exclusively with traditional rulers, exclusively with the religious leaders, exclusively with community associations and market associations, with a view to having their input as to what they feel or they think should be done to address this issue. And then from our own end, we also put before them the statistics and the effect of this crisis as it affects us as a people and affect our economic activities. And we now ask them, now you have known this is what this disease has caused over the years. This is the number of lives have lost. This is the number of properties that have been destroyed. So how can we address this? And we hear from them. And we feel, we hope that we incorporate all of those suggestions into a document and we hand over to the critical stakeholders who will drive the peace, the implementation that will see the restoration of peace in this area.
Okay, Dr. Shamenja, I will request you to also weigh in your thoughts on what you make of the submissions of the callers so far. And again, as I did put to Dr. Dam earlier, in terms of what you make of what is your understanding of the main causes of the crisis in Sankara axis over time, where the rain started beating us.
Yeah, thank you, Nathaniel. I think I will first and foremost appreciate all the callers for their contributions. It's just apt to add more flavor to this program we're trying to initiate. Jen spoke about the issue of being proactive, which is one of the key things. I think as leaders, we need to be proactive. And leaders is not only politicians, the religious, the traditional, the women. We are all leaders.
You academics are
yes,
also leaders.
Also, we academics were also
It's only
leaders.
we in the media that we're not leaders.
You in the media too, you are leaders. You are also decision makers. You shape the opinions of the people, so you are leaders too.
All right.
So it is our collective responsibility, being proactive to issues as affects development. So I think it's a hard time we have to be proactive. And that is one of the points that one of the contributors did mention. The youth, we need to also take ownership of this project. Issues of development, nobody can do it for us. If the youth can stand up and say, enough is enough, embarking on non-violence approach, we can get it right, we can get it correctly. That's just the submission of the other scholar. So the other caller. So we can get these things down by also trying to also grant amnesty to some of these people. But I think you ask of the causes are multifaceted. There's no way we can pinpoint a particular factor as being responsible. It is political, yes, agreed. It is illiteracy, yes, agreed. It is unemployment, yes, agreed. It is poverty, yes, agreed. So there are various factors that all together aggregate to causing this level of insecurity as we have right now. Unless we both come together, all of us come together and take ownership of this project in order to create an environment for peace to return in Sankara Axis. I think that is just the right way to go. And that is why we're not doing this project alone. We're in partnership with Catholic Diocese of Katsina Allah and also the College of Education Katsina Allah. That goes to show that the Sankara Staff Forum from Benue State University is not just taking ownership. We're also extending our hands of olive branch to even those academics from the University of Agri, that's JSTACA University. All of us should take ownership of this project and ensure that peace return. The absence of peace is causing us more harm than good in Sankara Axis.
Okay, Dr. Dam. Earlier on, one of our callers suggested the approach of amnesty. Previous administration, it is on record and in public domain that they deployed that same approach. And maybe I'll reflect on a paragraph of His Excellency's address to the people of the state and of particular Sankara concerning this whole situation that we are discussing. The governor earlier this morning addressed the state, and I'm trying to lay my hands on that particular paragraph where he said, but in the immediate, he said, I'm quoting the governor's broadcast, let me for the last time extend our hands of fellowship to all our youths who have chosen to reside in the forests and continually launch attacks on innocent citizens, that our administration may no longer guarantee the olive branch extended to them. I'm quoting the governor's address, paragraph 10 of his broadcast. What do you make of this with regards to the context of an amnesty being proposed by or being advocated by one of our callers? Would that approach be another correct one to take?
Yes, I think our brother Vincent Ako suggested amnesty, and then you have read a paragraph from the governor's speech this morning. Let me start by appreciating His Excellency for that speech that he gave. It's so reassuring, and we hope that the youths and the people of Sankara will listen to the governor. And from that speech, it is clear that the governor has extended a hand to our brothers who are in the bush, that if you really want to come out of this, come, and I will grant you amnesty. That is my understanding of that paragraph. The governor
I'll beg to walk you through it again. He said, let me quote it strongly again, for maybe you get the context better. He said, let me for the last time extend our hands of fellowship to all our youths who have chosen to reside in the forest and continually launch attacks on innocent citizens, that our administration may no longer guarantee the olive branch extended to them.
All right, I'll appeal that as we are going to sit together, and Vincent and others suggesting amnesty, and ours is also a non-violent approach for us as Sankara Staff Forum in BSU. So we also appeal that what the government needs to do is also to listen to the people, and maybe few of them are willing to lay down their arms and come back and be good citizens. And so I think I feel that when we meet together at the summit, then the summit should come out with some of those suggestions. It shouldn't be weak. We want to provide a platform so that issues will be discussed extensively, and then whatever comes out of it will be put to the table before His Excellency. So I wouldn't want to preempt what will come, because for us we're providing an enabling environment so that ideas and views and solutions will be placed on the table. So it is at that point that we'll place all of those options on the table coming out of the summit.
Okay, I would have really been fantastic if we had gotten online our repeated calls to the special advisor to the Benue State Governor on Security and Strategic Liaison, retired Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Anshungo. Our repeated calls to his line have not been picked yet, but we'll continue to try. To talk about the devil, not the devil himself, but just as I was mentioning now, we're able to get through to the special advisor to the governor. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Anshungu is a special advisor to the Benue State governor on security and strategic liaison, and he joins us virtually here on Perspectives to share thoughts with us on restoring peace in Sankara axis of Benue State. Good morning, special advisor. Hello, Honorable Special Advisor. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. I know I missed your call, but I'm trying to charge this phone. I came in last night, very late, and my battery is very low. I'm on 3% now.
Oh, okay. Maybe we'll get...
I was in touch with you, and I told you I was just coming in from Zakibia.
We understand.
So,
we understand.
I don't think we can talk much now. It's on charge.
We understand the power situation anyway. Thank God you are able to find solution to the power your phone, so we can get to you. Fine. Now, Honorable Special Advisor, good to have you on here. We are discussing restoring peace in Sankara axis of Benue, and when I contacted you for this program, you told me you were on ground in Sankara. Give us an understanding of what is the current situation there.
Well, the situation is calmed down. So the services there, the service personnel are still there. That's the army, police are still there. The curfew is being observed, and there's peace. Peace has restored. Today is the market day. I called back to find out, and the commanding officer told me that the market is holding, and people are buying and selling. Nothing is happening. The whole place is calm.
Okay, it's a market day. That is the Zakiba market you are talking about there.
Yes.
Oh.
There's no cause for alarm. There's no cause for alarm.
Okay, now there's no cause. Yes. So earlier on, I wonder if you tuned into the program and you listened to us, but we were able to speak to.
I just turned on my phone now. This man, I'm telling you, I'm about 3, just getting to about 4% now, and I think I'm taking a risk speaking with John. When he's on charge on power.
Quite a risk you are taking. That is patriotism at its peak. God help you. Nothing will happen to you, sir. You are serving the state.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Honorable Special Advisor, let's earlier on, the government had imposed a curfew, a 24-hour curfew on the state. I mean, on Okum local government in particular, over what it was termed as violent protest. Prior to this, what actually happened, based on what you found out when you got there?
You listened to the governor's press statement yesterday. Were you not there? I'm sure your staff would have been there to record all he says.
Absolutely, but you were there in the field.
I'm not saying outside what the governor has said.
Okay. Now, okay, let's. If you prefer us to talk to you within the context of what the governor said, I have his broadcast before me here, and since you are his advisor on security. Paragraph 10 of the governor's broadcast said, "Let me for the last time on innocent citizens that our administration may no longer guarantee the olive branch extended to them." Honorable Special Advisor, speak to us. What does this imply in the context of what the governor had in mind?
Well, yes, there's always been the stick and carrot approach, and it's a long time. But since the youth are not responding positively, whatever step it takes to restore peace in the Benue State, I think will be right.
Okay, so is the stick and carrot approach within the context of extending hands of fellowship, as the governor said he extends to his brothers, our use of the state in the forest? It means there is no more hands of fellowship.
You didn't say that.
I just quoted.
You extended it, but if they did not accept, you want him to fold his hands, let the state burn down?
Not at all. That is why we are seeking solutions.
I think I've spoken enough too.
Okay, Honorable Special Advisor, just before we let you go then, what measures in the immediate with the people of Sankara?
Say again, please.
Okay, in the immediate, what measures will the entire people of Sankara and Benue in general key into to see that peace is restored in that part of our state?
It's breaking. It's breaking.
Moment. What are the particular measures that the government is advising people to key into so that to see that peace is restored in Sankara?
Yeah, that will come up, and it's already in the pipeline. So wait and see. Just give us a few days. And we also heard that it's going to set up a commission of inquiry, and that will also give us a way to know what is happening.
Okay. When you actually gave me a signal that you have spoken enough, I was worried. But if you will permit me just one more minute, the governor assured he condemned what happened in Sankara. And based on his broadcast, he told us he had directed his deputy, who was there yesterday, to assess the situation. And he has also indicated the willingness to set up a commission of inquiry to identify the immediate causes. So in the interim, at the moment, I'm asking you, yes, at the moment, what are the immediate measures that the people need to key into before this commission of inquiry comes on board?
Oh, wait and see. When the calm is sufficient enough for him to address them, there'll be a target group he must talk with, he will talk with, and then from there, I think we'll know the way.
All right. We must thank you.
I cannot just go now and talk to them and promise who will he talk with there. So for now, the deputy governor was there. He spoke to the people he met and the press.
All right. We must thank you very much, a special advisor to the Benue State Governor on Security and Strategic Liaison, retired Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Anshungu. Thank you for sharing your time with us.
Thank you so much.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, the special advisor, for sharing that with us. At least we can understand that the government is also taking measures from what he has told us and from the governor's broadcast. But the bottom line and the most important thing, which I think should excite us, Dr. Shaminja, is that the special advisor said calm is being restored.
Sure.
Yeah.
We're happy about that.
He said a market day is already going on. You are from that axis. Maybe you may talk to us better.
The market day, that's the eve of the market day. Zakiban is on Saturday, so it starts, Friday and Saturdays are the market day. So he's right. The special advisor is right. So he is on ground too. So if they're telling us that it's calm, we take their words. And we also want to appreciate the governor for his press release, broadcast, condemning the act in the area. And for me, I'm looking at him saying, as the chief security officer of the state, he's still extending that hand of fellowship to the people in the bush. So for me, if they can come out and say they have surrendered and they have repented, even as a priest, I think the governor will forgive them. So I'm looking at that. So, and if I'm quoting him verbatim, though I'm not a linguist, but he say he may no longer, not can no longer, he may no longer. So I'm still believing that this approach, the non-kinetic approach that we're trying to bring on board, the government can key into the summit being planned by Sankara, Staff Forum in partnership with the Kali Diocese and the College of Education, Katsina, together, so that at the end of the day, we can come out with a better alternatives to solve this insecurity situation, and not necessarily force, but looking at the dialogue and how we can resolve this. The last point or the last resort will be the use of force. But for now, I think we have not exhausted all our avenue, and there's still room for dialogue. There's still room for stakeholders to come together, so that together we can iron out our differences. That's my opinion.
Okay, Dr. Dam, I would also like us to reflect on basically paragraph 11 of the governor's broadcast, where he indicated interest that the administration will not allow actions of few to destabilize the entire state. We will not sit back and allow anyone or a group to frustrate the peace of the state and destabilize the government of Benue State. To this end, our government, we in the next few days, set up a commission of inquiry to investigate the remote and immediate causes of this mayhem. That's just an abridged paragraph of the governor's broadcast. Are you excited about the prospects of a commission of inquiry to identify the remote and immediate causes of the mayhem, but particularly the Kum incident and maybe previous ones that the governor is telling the people of the state?
Yeah, you see, Nat, the first step of addressing any challenge is to know what is the cause. We need to know the remote and the immediate causes and take the best decisions for the good people of Sankara, Uku in particular, Sankara and Benue State at large. So I appreciate that, because that is the only way that he will know the remote and the immediate causes of that. So I aligned just to appreciate His Excellency for his efforts, and we from the Sankara Staff Forum, as I said, ours is to stand in a way of to support this administration by giving the ideas that are product of research that can help address the challenges that the states. We are going to place before him all our contributions and our suggestions, so that he administration will look at it and then implement those aspects that he feels are relevant for peace to return. We are concerned with peace, and peace we are for.
Okay, I will interrupt you. Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Welcome to the program.
I'm Mr. James Bulaun.
James Bulaun. Where are you?
Yeah, I'm calling from Macaulay.
Okay, which part of Makurdi?
Gurukum.
Okay, James, go ahead with your submission.
Somebody told us that those youth in the forest are being sponsored by the enemies of Sankara. Because when they go on rampage and kill people, they are being paid for the number of people they kill. And that seems to be true. I can't understand why somebody will carry gun and enter market and clear people.
But James, before you go ahead further, don't you think that is a speculative, since there is no evidence alluding to what you just said? Clearly, we are putting that in proper perspectives. Should we be acting on speculation?
It's okay, sorry, but this is called for an investigation.
Okay.
Just I'm not very sure of it, but it seems like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the program.
Yes. Fine. You share your thoughts and conclude. I just wanted us to put that in clearer perspective, so we don't get to mislead anybody on the program.
Okay.
Fine.
So it's surprising that the youth will get up from the forest and go to a market and clear people, go to a village and clear people. What is really their problem? What is the benefit of this? What are they benefiting from killing their brothers? These are our chief brothers. What is the benefit? This is subject. This should be investigated. There must be a reason why they are doing that kind of a thing. There's nowhere in the world where you see people just get up and go and kill other people or run away like that, except in Sankara. This should be investigated, please.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, James. We appreciate you. Thank you. This is a call for proper investigation. And again, Dr. Shamija, that is where the commission of inquiry, which the governor is promising to set up in the next few days to investigate the immediate and remote causes, comes in. And it may also be aligning with what your peace summit being organized is seek to bring on board. Speak to us within this context.
Yes, for sure, absolutely. The summit is also aimed at finding solutions, causes, and for possible solutions for the level of insecurity in Sankara ISIS. So, if the commission of inquiry is being set by the governor, I think it's also in line with the vision and mission of the Peace Summit as we are embarking on. And so altogether we can harmonize our ideas and how together we can put those ideas and at the end of the day look at the better solutions and better alternatives to bring peace or harmonious coexistence for the people of Sankra. And that is why our summit is termed Promoting Peace and Social Integration for Sustainable Development in Sankra. We're looking at how peace and social integration could be better anchored for sustainable development. So the governor's ideas, the government ideas, or the critical stakeholders' ideas, together with ours, are in tandem with the vision on how development can come the way of Sankra, and by extension, the people of Benue State. We're looking at the social image this crisis has caused to us. The image is badly, such that people no longer want to associate with us as a people, but we're peace-loving people. We're people of dignity, and we wouldn't want to be looking at that label as it is. And we're looking at the best way that peace will be returned to these people using a dialogue approach and not a force.
Okay, dialogue approach and not force. What somebody described as securitization. It should be some kind of dialogue, non-violent. Okay, let's take some messages, and when we come back, we shall be gradually drawing our concluding thoughts. This one in our WhatsApp box says, "Good morning to you, moderator, and the discussants in the house. I noticed that the discussants are of the opinion that education is a panacea to restoring normalcy to that region, in the youth of that region. There are models that have been followed at the local and international levels. The model used by the current leader of the country of El Salvador, named Najib Bukele. There was also the deteriorated and was disbanded. Without reining these bandits or completely eliminating them, other efforts will amount to an exercise in futility." Thank you. No, we don't want any exercise to amount in futility. We want the correct efforts to yield results. I am Bro Emeka Oji from Welfare Quarters in Makudi. Emeka Oji, thank you very much for sending in your message. We appreciate you. Another one here on our regular SMS box says, "Good morning. I am by name Paul as Ohembega. Please, the state government should provide security operatives to monitor the border of Ukum and Shitile people of Kasinala local government area of the state, precisely around Sai, Shagogo, Abako, and Senga areas to determine the veracity of their entrance. If this happens, peace will reign forever in Sankara." Thanks. Thank you very much, Ohembega, for your message. That's our prayer and hope too, that peace should reign forever in Sankara. Another one here says, "We can make peace attainable if we as humans are able to identify what has been the clash of the warring factions by negotiating with them at the table and mutual relationship, a beacon of hope for the younger generation." Good morning, panelists, and thanks to Nathaniel Nongo. Isaac Utsua from Iye in Goma. Isaac, thank you very much for sending in your message. Those are just a few we'll be able to accommodate, but I'm with you now, Dr. Dam, and this will be your parting words on the program, making a summary of all that we have discussed here and the contributions of the callers, also our co-discussant outside the studio as well. What are the immediate measures that government, stakeholders, security, and every one of us need to key into to see that peace is restored in Sankara?
Thank you, Nathaniel. I will start with at individual level.
Just a summary in 2 minutes maximum.
Every son and daughter of Sankara should decide within himself to give peace a chance and to act in accordance with their decision, that they will become agents of peace, not agents of destruction. Let's give peace a chance. Thank you.
All right, let's give peace a chance. Every citizen of the state, will be whether you are from Sankara or not, let's give peace a chance. That is submission from Dr. Dam. We appreciate you. Dr. Shaminja, let's also get your concluding thoughts on the program.
Okay, thank you, Nathaniel. I appreciate you. Let me conclude by quoting Mahatma Gandhi on peace. He said that non-violence is not a garment to be put on and off, and it will be a collective action by all. So we're looking at an approach of this non-violence approach, whereby all stakeholders, critical stakeholders, will come together and dialogue. And when we can develop our area, that is Sankara Axis or Benue State, for the good of Benue and for the good of Nigeria. So all stakeholders team up with us to for this peace summit, so that together we can move the state forward.
And that is where we must conclude on this edition of Perspectives, which we discussed restoring peace in Sankara Axis of Benue State. I appreciate very deeply our discussants on the program. Dr. Daniel Dam is the President Sankara Staff Forum and a senior lecturer in the Department of Geography at the Benue State University. We thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you, Mr. Nathaniel, and your listeners.
The Secretary of the Peace Summit being put together by the Sankara Staff Forum of the Benue State University, Dr. Solomon Shaminja. He is also a lecturer in the Faculty of Education at our university. We appreciate you for coming on Perspectives.
Department of Sociology, rather. I'm a criminologist.
Department of Sociology. Forgive me.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank
Dr.
you, Nathaniel.
A spokesperson for the Benue State Police Command, Superintendent of Police, Sewesi Anene. She joined us virtually. We are grateful to her. And also the special advisor to the Benue State Governor on Security and Strategic Liaison, retired Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Anshungu. We are grateful to you too, sir. Dear listener, that's our program for today. Remember, peace is our collective responsibility to see that it thrives not just in Sankara, but in the entire Benue and Nigeria, because in the absence of peace, no development will thrive. Let's join hands together to bring that much desired peace in our society. My name is Nathaniel Nangu. I'll be here Monday next week, God keeping us, for another edition of the program. Have yourself a great weekend. Goodbye.